Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I thought I'd do a little bit more of a different video on this channel, and basically I thought about doing some Call of Duty challenge videos, and there was a lot of these the third option for every Call of Duty, zombies, spec ops, extinction, and Call of Duty Ghosts, that sort of thing. So I thought, what if I made a little bit of a challenge video for all of the Call of Duties, starting with World at War. So as you can see, I'm just showing you highlights of the clips, but basically the objective for this video was to get to at least round 15 on every map on World at War. Now, I know that might be a little bit, low, considering a lot more people, a lot more experienced players can actually, get along those lines, and they can, get to higher and higher maps, but honestly, I'm just going into this raw. If you want to say that, but as you can see, I got the ray gun from the mystery box, and I got the 357 Magnum, which honestly is a really underrated weapon in World of War. I mean, I never realized how powerful it was. And recently I was recording another video recently for Black Ops 1, but we'll get to that video when I get to it. But the revolvers were pretty nice in there as well. And this is probably the hardest to do, physically, to get to round 15, because there is no, honestly, you just have to base everything on luck. And as you can see, I've been getting a lot more power-ups and all that, so my luck was getting pretty decent, and I just kind of stuck around the windows for a little bit. As you can see, it's starting to speed up, and eventually just get towards round 15. And I guess the hard part is that there's no perks on this map. It's just use the weapons and try to survive. And we all know that World at War is statistically, in my eyes, it's the hardest zombies mode, just because it's so bare bones. But as you can see, we got to round 15 right here, and it's going to get a little bit, the challenges are going to get increasingly, different as the videos start to come out. But this is one of four. There are four World at War maps that we're going to do, and I also made it a challenge for myself that even if I did get past round 15, I wanted to at least get to as far as I could. Actually trying, not, giving up as soon as I get to round 20 or round 15 or whatever my objective was. And, I just kept hitting the box a lot of times, just because, there isn't really that much to do on this map either. So, I was just kind of dicking around and just waiting for something else to happen. But, the ray gun was helping me for a while. I think this is where I actually die. I think I get caught. Yeah, I get caught with that corner, and I also got dealt with splash damage, so that got to round 17 on Noctur on Totem. So round 17, that was it. Now we're gonna be moving over to Verrucht. Verrucht was a little bit harder. Honestly, this was probably the hardest map to get to round 15 on, just because how enclosed this map is. I mean, you can just see from the footage that they come in at all directions, and even with an assault weapon, they can pretty overrun you pretty easily. And especially with the Thompson being, the Thompson, it's a good point weapon, but it's definitely not something you want to keep the entire game, unless you get something like this where it's a double points and it's insta-kill. But then even then, any weapon will do for that. And then, as you can see, you get another double points, and then there's also a kaboom over there. So yeah, so then we go up to here, and I decide to just open all of these doors. And also, I'm going into these maps as well with no research or anything. I try not to do any research and just use my prior knowledge. I hit the box one time, and it looks like I got a carbine, yeah. And gotta get Jug here, because this is the first time we're actually getting perks in this map. And something else that I completely forgot about in World at War is that the quick revive does not actually revive you. It's literally only for quick revive. As you can see, I picked up the MP40 as well. it never can go wrong with an MP40. It's, you know, always one of those weapons that in any zombies mode, it always seems like it was most effective. And I basically used a strategy that many of you would be familiar with, and I just camped in this corner while, you know, it is kind of risky just because I am playing solo, but using the trap and then using the assault weapons as the people got closer, you can see I almost died right there. And then I also picked up double tap because I honestly don't know why. I think it was just because the perks were there, and I think there's only 4 perks at this time. So hit the box one more time, picked up a trench gun. I don't know why I didn't keep the MP40. I don't really remember why. A lot of these are, and a lot of the times these clips that you're seeing here, this is the successful run, so there are many failed attempts with this run as well, which is why you'll see it'll get increasingly more, I guess you could say it gets increasingly more aware, but then you can see I started getting overrun again, so then I started backtracking, but then I'm pretty sure they started coming in behind me, and luckily I got the insta-kill, and the trench gun is always certainly helpful. Right there, that was some horseshit. I don't know how that guy didn't die. And like I said, I tried to get to at least round 15, so I tried to get as many assault weapons as possible because they always seem the most effective, or you know, wonder weapons are always effective too, but you know, if you know, you're just going with a mystery box. But there you saw I actually got the round 15 right there, and I'm pretty sure I don't survive long after this because yeah, I was not prepared for this map. Plus, it was a lot of attempts for this map as well, so I was just happy to get to round 15 at least. But there you can see I got to the minimum that we could get to. Then we move over to Shino Numa. Shino Numa was relatively easy, just because it's besides the Reese, it's probably the World of War map I'm most familiar with. Usually just because it was my most played, but as you can see, I just sort of camped around the front area for a little bit, and you know, just farmed up a little bit of points before I actually, you know, went out. And then I picked up the Arasaka. I don't remember if I used it in the runs before this, but it was certainly effective for the first couple of rounds of getting points. And then we pick up another Magnum, and you know, it's always good to have a wall weapon or two. You know, having 2 mystery box weapons is cool too, but you know, you always want to make sure you have at least one weapon that you can reload if you need ammo. Open up the first cabin, and as you can see, we get, lucky enough, we get Juggernog, so I was able to pick that up relatively quickly around round 6, or round 5 rather. And also the dog rounds. Shino Numa, the only reason I was dying was on the dog rounds, because surprisingly these guys have a lot more health than I thought. Then we got quick revive, went back to the mystery box, got nothing, and sort of just kept running around the sides of the map, opening all the doors and getting all the perks. And I think this is the Speed Cola one. Yeah, we got Speed, and then Speed Cola came up, and you know, usually this is the easiest map because it's only at a 24 zombie cap, so you know, there's not really that much planning you have to do for this map. You just sort of and also the floggers too, those are relatively helpful. I almost died right here. I don't know how I didn't, but yeah, I started getting overwhelmed, and you know, the Magnum came in clutch, and I'm pretty sure there was a max ammo all the way at the bottom of the hill, and I still missed it, but I got picked up another one. MG42 just because, and then why not get a Wonder Waffle just because. And certainly I was not expecting to get a Wonder Waffle in this map either, so you know, I thought I was pretty set when I had the LMG and everything, but like I said, I'm going into this with no prior knowledge, so I don't really like practice a lot of zombies, but you know, I could say I'm relatively more inept to playing. I mean, you know, I know I don't know how to do the Easter eggs, but I can definitely get to round 30 if I try. And there you go, we picked up another MP40 and then used the Wonder Waff. I mean, you can never go wrong with a Wonder Waffle, and the MP40 is certainly a good weapon to have, especially with Speed Cola as well. Then the Type 100, yes, this is why I died. I got the round 15, and this happens. You can just see how angry I got because I just paused my game and I just didn't know what to do. But then I realized I was at round 15, so I could not continue, and I was just happy enough to get to it. So then final match is the Darice. Darice is the only map that has Pack-a-Punch on it, so I felt relatively good about that, knowing that I'll be able to survive a little bit longer. But I'm pretty sure this took as long as Varuk did, just because there were a lot of ins and outs that I was trying to do, and I was trying to rush them, even when the rounds began. So, you know, everything started getting more messed up. Turn on the power. And this is certainly apparent that you have to get all the pads and get all of that. And you can see a carpenter spawn, so I'm like, screw that. I was hoping for max ammo. But, you know, this is when I started getting more scared, just because I didn't really know how to get there. And, you know, I don't believe I wanted the other side of the map opened yet. Pick up Juggernaut because I was on the way to it. And the certain you know, teleporters that you have to get, they are not really that hard, but I would not suggest doing them at the beginning of the map, like, or the beginning of a round, like how my dumbass would. And then here you go, you can see me just camping in the front of the main generator for a while, just because there's a lot of space. And then I started going over to the other side where I can open the final teleporter and get the Pack-a-Punch, and also at perfect timing get a double points. And I did not want to get that nuke yet because I knew I can get some more. And then this is when once that round was over, I was able to turn on the power and get Pack-a-Punch. But I needed to get my points up a little bit. So once I did, I made my way up here. But then I realized I was starting to get overrun. Right here, I almost died. So you know, I would have been super angry about that one because that was the farthest I've gotten. And once that round was over, went over and Pack-a-Punched the STG, the Sweaty Tryhard gun for the Spats 447. And then this is when the dog round started, so this is when I realized I was going to get max ammo, and this is when I realized I needed to start finding a different weapon. Picking up a Browning, that was pretty decent. Got Speed Cola the next round, and I started running into a bunch of zombies. Don't know how I didn't die again. A lot of the times the hit reg for zombies hitting you is a lot different than it is in most of the COD games, besides World of War. But there you see, just clear through all those guys and get the insta-kill as well. And certainly the power-ups are going to be your best friend in World of War, especially because they drop so frequently, but they are so ineffective at times as well. But then get also Pack-a-Punch to the Browning just to make sure I have some extra firepower, and just to get to round 15. And I'm pretty sure I got to the highest out of all the World of War maps on this one, so at least you're not getting less than 20 rounds per World of War map. But yeah, and then also using the electric trap helps out as well. Speed Cola with these LMGs are always effective as well. I did that a lot for the Black Ops 1 video. But as you can see, this is when I started just training the zombies and pulling them into the generator. And this is when, you know, everything started to go in. And this is when I started to panic, just because it was a dog round and I didn't want to die, because that happened when I was on round 14 and I didn't want it to happen. And as you can see, I had to switch guns quickly because these dogs started fucking flying. And then this is where I almost died again. Like I said, these dogs are super, super ineffective. But then here you go, I got to round 15 on Darice, so then that was all of the World of War maps. But then I also wanted to see how far I could get with just playing the map itself. So then as I started actually trying and I started training, you know, I just sort of stayed in the front of the map for a little bit. And this is when I pick up monkey bombs, so then I think I'm a little bit more effective. And I just kept picking up weapons just because wanted to see what I got. Picked up a Thompson, or got a Thompson, and it was nothing. So then basically I just went around waiting for the next bit of zombies to pop in, or just waiting for the next wave so I can pick up some more points and maybe get a different gun to pack a punch. Because that's really all you can do. I mean, there isn't really any underlying thing besides the one Easter egg. But then this is when I died because I got caught in the teleporter. And I also didn't realize that there was a hold F to teleport.